Over to you.
Thank you very much, Jan. First of all, am I audible properly there to everyone?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely okay?
Yes.
Okay. Now, without wasting any further time, because my presentation is going to be too long, so I would better start with my presentation, and let us start with one chant of Nauka Mantra. Let me share the screen first. Is my screen seen by everyone? Is it available to everyone?
Yes, yes. We can.
Right. Okay. Let me start. I will start today's session with Nauka Mantra, which is supposed to be the basic and the fundamental mantra of our Jainism. You can recite your own prayer, whatever that suits you. Namo Aihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayayanam, Namo Vajjayanam, Namo Loe Savvasamunam, Eso Pancha Namukkaro, Savvapavapanasano, Mangalanam Cha Savvesim, Padamam Havai Mangalam. Friends, today I have been invited by the Bombay Chartered Accountants Society HRD Study Circle, of which I am a part of it, and been regularly attending the majority of the seminars, the lectures conducted by them. And I'm very glad and obliged to the Bombay Chartered Accountants Society to give me an opportunity of presenting the thoughts as per the Jainism on the law and science of karma. This is a very interesting subject. All across the world, everybody is known. Everybody speaks about karma. In fact, that karma word has been added in an Oxford dictionary also now. So karma has been accepted globally as a word, but I wonder how many of us know really what the karma is and what are the scientific basis for that. So today my lecture would be on two aspects. One is on the law, which will set out certain principles. And then on the science part of it, physics are more of a metaphysics with our living styles. So to begin with, I'm really grateful to all my Dev and Guru, with whose blessings I have been taught about the karmas and theory of karma, and in particularly Param Pujya Panyas, Dr. Shri Arun Vijayji Mahasab. He is a stalwart on the subject. In fact, today I will be missing his class on the Gandharvad, which is held between 7 and 8. Before I begin, let me clarify certain thing and have a disclaimer so that it goes straight. That the theory of karma, which today I'm going to speak on, is going to be a bit different than what normally understood by common man around the world. Normally, we know very little about karma, that it is only what we do is our karma. But there is much more beyond that. So today I will try to put before you something which you probably may not have heard earlier. And so be with me till end of the session, because at the end part of it, there are numerous things are going to crop up, which are going to come up, which will be very interesting and very helpful to the life. The basis which I have taken from today's talk is from the Jain philosophy. So that is it about it. A Jain philosophy is supposed to be Karmavad, which is totally based on the Karmavad. It's on the theory of the karma. And it has a very deep literature in it, running into the thousands of books and whatnot. But today, I'm going to only give you a simplified version of the few basic aspects of the karma. Again, one more condition, that karma is not the only conditions for any event to happen. Whatever happens with us or whatever we do is not solely because of the karma, but there are other 4 reasons. So in totality, there are 5 reasons, which we call Pancha Samuvaya, of which karma is one of it. Now, karma, today I'm going to take karma only as a place where it is acting predominantly, but certainly other 4 factors are also there, and their existence is a necessity. Better. Now, my today's agenda is that first we will introduce some basics of what is karma and all that. After that, I will give my perspective of karma as a law, and then in the third, perspective of karma as a science. And lastly, I hope the time permits, we will take up the question and answers. Now, first, whenever I ask any question, I'm not going to raise any questions in between, but let me to begin with, first of all, let me ask everybody, how many of you believe in karma? They can write their answers in the chat box, whether they believe in us, they can say yes or no. I can at least know who my audience is, who are participants, and whether they believe in karma or not. They can put it in the chat box and then activate it for everyone. They can say, how many of you say yes? Yes, 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 yes. Nobody says no. Everybody says yes. Everybody believes in it. Fine, that's good. So my task has become more simpler. Only one says no. Fine, good. I give just few seconds more for everyone to respond. Okay? Okay. The majority of the people, majority of the participants today says that they believe in karma. Okay? Fine. Okay? Yes. So once we are through with it, that everybody believes in karma, majority of us. My next question is this: whether karma is your friend or an enemy. Now again, my participants can write their replies in the chat box. Whether karma is a friend or an enemy. Let me see how people say it. Friend, friend, okay. Anyone, neither friend nor enemy. Good answer, okay. One says enemy, okay. Majority says friend. It can be both. One says no, okay. Is neither friend nor enemy. Neither. Yes, it says neither. Karma says neither. Now, answer to this we will take at the end. Whether karma is our friend or an enemy, once we know what the function of the karma is and what it is doing to us, what in fact we are affected with, then only we can decide whether it is our true friend or an enemy. Okay, let's move ahead. See, this is a survey report by the Pew Research Center, and it's a very good organization, very big organization doing the research on several aspects in the world. They had one research paper which was published in somewhere in 2020, and they raised a question amongst the Indian adults. And the question was, how many of us believe in karma? The Hindu, it is based on the religion phase. The Hindus, 77% believe in karma. Surprisingly, Muslims, 77% believe in karma. That was a very shocking and surprising results. And other results are also still there. 52% Christians and 62% Sikhs, 64% Buddhists, and Jains 75%. So majority lies with the every religion that they believe in karma. Okay. Now, I'm now starting with the elements of law. For any law, what are the basic things there are to be there? First of all, there has to be a management and auto control, some authority who controls the law. But here in the karma, it's an automatic control. I will come to that part. It is an automatic control. There has to be some jurisdictions to decide the subjects. Who are the subjects of karma? Like some says only human beings are subject to karma, or some says all the lives are subject to karma. So there are differences of opinion. Here, then I will take up justice and equality. The law cannot be injustice and a law cannot be unequal. There should be a system of punishment and rewards, and there has to be a proper management of the law. Okay. Now, karma, as said, is an universal law. It applies to everyone. When I say everyone, I must define who are everyone. It's a automated and self-driven law, so we don't need any instructor, any accountant, any of the posts to get it activated, to get it work. This is what the Jain principles is about the karma. It works on its own. Nobody needs anything to that. I remember that in Hindu mythology, I'm not against it, but they may have some different point of view also, that Chitragupta is defined as a character who keeps on the accounts of the karma, who notes down whose karma is what, and then the results are given according to that. I think the Chitragupta by name itself suggests that karma gives us something which is going to happen in the future. So the scenes of the futures are suspense. We don't know what is going to happen tomorrow or the next moment. Such events are known only to Chitragupta, and he keeps it with him. So properly his name is also been said to be a Chitragupta. The next part is that there is no direct interference of others in the karma. Because it is automated, there need not be any direct interference. Any other people, peripheral people or things which we see or which we experience, they can be a nimitta karan. Nimitta karan is something with the circumstantial reasons, not the primary reasons. So they are all our circumstantial reasons. It is up to oneself to decide how the effect is to be taken. So that is what the meaning by it, that others are all becoming a nimitta karan. Others can only guide us, but not act on behalf of the subject. Why I say this is that even the God cannot tell us, okay, you will be improved, this will be, you will have to do it. Because my inner feelings lies with me. It's only I can decide whether I should follow this or not to follow the words of the God. So everybody is free. Everybody is free to do what they like or what they don't like. And no one can force anyone to do that. This is another universal law. Now, when we talk of the jurisdiction, who are covered in the peripherals of karma, it's very wide scope. All jiva or souls or lives or consciousness, whatever name we call, they are all covered, irrespective of their forms. There are 84 lakhs jiva yoni that people say are there. They are all covered. But there is one exclusion to it, and the exclusion is Siddha Jiva. Now, why this exclusion is given to the Siddha Jiva is that because the Siddha Jiva does not have a reason to get attached with the karma, which we will see in the forthcoming session. We will come to know that the reason for Jiva to accumulate the karma is not present. It is not present with the Jiva, but all Siddha Jiva were like us. Were like us means they were suffered from karma, but they followed certain process by which they attained Keval Gnan and then attained the Siddhatva. That means they knew the road after attaining the Keval Gnan, that what would be a way to attain the Siddhatva. So, and that way is nothing but the Dharma. So, Siddha Jiva has done us a very great, they're very benevolent on us by showing us the way. They are excluded from the operation of the karma law because they do not have any reasons to do that. Now, when we talk of the law, there cannot be any exception or exemptions. It applies equally to all. When I say all means all. All jivas who are subjects of the karma, they have to suffer if they have done something wrong, and they will be rewarded howsoever bad he is. So this is what the equality is about. I am tempted to cite one example from the Jain scriptures. Our 19th Tirthankar Mallinath Bhagwan, I can tell you about that story, about his background. There are 24 Tirthankars, out of which 19th Tirthankar were Mallinath Bhagwan. He was, in fact, the Mallinath Bhagwan was born as a female body. It's a woman. Why? Because the principle as set out under the karma that whenever any Tirthankar takes place in a birth, as a Tirthankar, it will be always a male body, not a female body. But this has become an exception. Why am I saying is that karma don't give any exception to anyone, even it doesn't leave Tirthankars also. What had happened is that in previous birth, Mallinath was a prince and he was with his few friends, 8 friends. He has been enjoying his life, doing a lot of scenes like and as a king or a prince, whatever he can do, he has done. But somehow he turned his life, took a diksha along with all his friends. Since he was leader of all his friends, he also wanted to lead and come first amongst his friends. So what he did, that whenever any occasion comes to take some oath for the fastings or not to fast, like Ikashna Vyashna, he would declare his decision at the end purposely because he wanted to be on the front. Now, this was the minutest kind of a Maya that he adopted, only to be in the front. Now, that Maya accumulated karma, which were cause for the Malinath Bhagwan to take a birth as a woman. And that is an exceptional case, where we call it a chayu, exceptional case. But Karma Satta says, I'm ready to accept the exceptional, but I will not spare anyone. Just to cite that, I have given this example. Now, there is no extension. Justice is delivered at the time period fixed that we will see when we see the theory of karma, at what period of time it gets right, it is fixed at what point of time. Sometimes even the earlier is also punishment is given, but there is no other further than it. Now, I will take you to the theory of karma as a matter of justice, as a law. See, this is only a hypothetically I'm saying that the court is a karma satta, or our own karma is a court. It delivers some justice. It gives some results. Who is accused? The accused is a karta who does a karma. But important and very important factor is this. Who is jailer? Jailer is the one who is ordered to deliver the justice, to deliver the punishment or the reward. Now, in any karma, when it writes, we see some people are not behaving good with us, some people are behaving good with me. Why this happens? Is it that person's fault? If I figure out that it is that person who is at fault, then certainly he may be a jailer vis-a-vis me or my karma. But if I fight with him, if I don't accept his behavior or his attitude with me, then I'm fighting with a jailer. And the normal sense is that if somebody, a prisoner, fights with a jailer, his sentence is increased and not decreased. So the third persons are always jailers. They are only a nimitta karan, or they are only a jailer who has been asked by the karma satta, that's a court, to deliver some justice to the accused. Why there is a necessity of a jailer? Because the karma cannot deliver the result without it. If there is a jail and some sentence is ordered, then certainly the jailer is needed, jail is needed, and jailer is needed. Without that, it cannot be ordered. So there is a necessity for punishment, or that the jailer has to be there. The duty of jailer is to obey the orders of the karma satta. That this is the order that I've been asked to not to pay you in time. So I am, but that is what a point of view of ours point of view that we have to take. Please don't go on the other side. That I'm not paying someone because I've been ordered by the karma satta not to pay you. That is not the angle to be taken. What angle is to be taken here is from my own angle. That if I am not receiving some money from someone who is owing me, he may be ordered by the karma satta not to pay me now. So the jailer is, the duty of the jailer is to deliver the sentence as ordered by the karma satta. You cannot fight with the jailer. The moment you start fighting with the jailer, the sentence gets increased. And we have to accept, and if you accept the punishment, it is like more likelihood that the sentence may be reduced also. There are no appeals. There are no appeals before the karma satta because their decisions can never be wrong. However, there is only a condonation procedure which can be followed. What is that condonation procedure? That condonation procedure is like this. If I did something wrong, if I beg pardon on the same day, then it is a different value. If I do it after a fortnight, it has a different value. And if I do it after 4 months, somebody will say, why you come waken up so after 4 months? And the lastly is a yearly. This is very intricate. In fact, what we Jains follow on this principle is a process of pratikraman. We are asked to do these 5 types of pratikraman. The one is on the morning every day, one on the evening every day. I do not know how many of Jains will be following that, but at least I am following the morning pratikraman. Then one in the evening. The morning pratikraman, what we do is to get rid of the karmas or get rid of all the sins which I did during the night time. The evening pratikraman is to get rid of the karmas that I did during the daytime. But there are few more intricate and powerful karmas. To manage that, we do pakhi or fortnightly pratikraman, and even much going deeper, we do it 4 months. Every 4 months we do the pratikraman. There is also a yearly pratikraman which has just recently passed, our Samvatsari pratikraman, after which we do Michhami Dukkadam to the whole, all the lives in the world. There is another part of condonation, we call it as a bhavalochana. In fact, everyone must take it once in a life. What is that bhavalochana? Is a true and fair, full disclosure of all the sins, of all the wrong things or which I did during my lifetime. Normally, this is done by writing on a exercise book. People do that way, we do that way. Write in exercise book, the full scape, all the remembering, all the sins. Whatever right from our childhood, whatever bad thing I have done, whatever lies I have made, whatever theft I have made, everything is noted down in a book, and then it is handed over to a Nikachita Guru, so that he goes through that our disclosures and orders a compounding fees. What is that compounding fees? In the form of a tap or swadhyay. The Nikachita Guru are very well versed with the karma theory. They know very well what kind of a prayaschit, we call it a prayaschit, would manage the karmas that are bound by indulging into such sinful activities. This is a bhavalochana that we do. This is one more important part of the Jainism. Now we will come about the science, because the science is also very important. The basic principles of science is that every action has its own reaction in opposite directions. And another principle, there is a law of cause and effect. If there is an effect, there has to be a cause. There cannot be an effect without a cause. On this principle, the whole karma theory is founded. For any karma to happen, there has to be a karta, who is a doer. A karta is someone who indulges into the activity. Here, the meaning of karta is some jiva. Jiva can be from 84 lakh jiva yonis, anyone. They are all karta. What he is doing is a kriya, it's an action. But here, action, the meaning, as I told you, meaning of action is very deep, which we will come to know when we come to the next further course of the discourse. And doing that kriya, what happens is a karma. Now, this is something really important. I'll take up the questions because their chat box has something. I have not opened the chat box. Now I opened it. Someone has asked me, okay, isn't jailer building new karmas while delivering to the kata? It's a vicious cycle or cycle, some Mr. Yes, it is. But when I told you very well that we have to look from the perspective of ours only. For I have to look at from my perspective. What jailer does, what third party does, that is up to him. It is for me only. I have to accept him as a jailer. Because if it is not my karma, he will never can do that. He can never be go against me. Okay. I think I will also look at some chats, in the chat box if some question comes up. Because it is at the same time, if it comes, I will be able to. Okay. There is another. Now, what is karma? Now, karma is the particles or collection of group atoms, knowing as karmic vargana. Now, there are certain new things which has come in front of everyone. Now, I suppose that what is karmic particles? Karma is a matter. It is nothing like a sansar, but don't believe it's a karmic particles, which a collection of those karmic particles are known as a karmic vargana. Vargana means group of atoms. Here, I mentioned here vargana. I will not go much deep into the vargana section because it's too big as a subject by itself. It's a metaphysics of the Jainism. So karmic particles, a collection of the karmic particles are they become karma. When then, how they become karma, I will let you. Their karmic particles are very subtle, which we cannot see with our eyes. And that karmic particles are attracted by the soul. The soul has some capabilities to attract those karmic particles, not because of the soul, but because of something else. What are the reasons? Why do the soul attracts karmic particles? And when these karmic particles gets attracted with the soul, they get bind with it, we call it ekras. When it gets mixed with the soul, it is known as a karma. Till that time, it is called karmic particle. And once it gets mixed with the soul, they are known as a karma. Why do the karmic particles are attracted by the soul? First, we must know what karmic particles are. They are very sticky and oily particles of the last vargana, that is the 8th vargana. So they're very, very subtle. And Atma or the soul indulges into the rag and dvesh, that is an attachment and hatred, which is not its nature. The soul nature of the Atma is not rag and dvesh, but it goes away from its own nature and indulges into the rag and dvesh. That becomes the cause for the karmic particle to get attached, because the rag and dvesh creates a kind of a magnetic power to attack those karmic particles and get it attached with the Atma Pradesh, that is with the soul. So, in fact, rag and dvesh are the basic reasons for the karmic particles to get attached and become a karma. So, we call it that karma is because of the rag and dvesh, and the one who do not have rag and dvesh, like the Siddhatva, we call them Vitaragi. Vitaragi means without rag and dvesh. How one can become without rag and dvesh? That is what the dharma, and that is what the process has to be followed. Now, the whole cosmos is full of karmic particles. There is not a single space, even to a needle's point, that is without a karmic particle. The whole cosmos is full of it. So much so that even within our body, we have some hollowness. If some student of medicine may be knowing it, that particularly in the stomach areas, there are some hollowness. Even in that hollowness, the karmic particles, yes, they are there. Why I came to know of it is that when we were studying the karmic particles, then how close they are to the soul. Because it is there throughout the cosmos, it is not difficult for Atma or soul not to have any karmic particles. They are there just besides it. Then the influx of karmic particles soul is happening continuously. Why am I saying that? Is because the soul is always active in something. Always. It is not Siddha soul, which has not become a Kriya. It is always Kriya. So because of the Kriya of the soul, the influx is also a continuous process that is happening. A soul, in fact, attacks all the 7 types of karmas out of 8 continuously. I will come to what are the 8 types of karmas. Out of that, living Ayushya karma, all 7 types of karmic particles are attracted every moment, every samay. And when those karmic particles gets mixed with the soul, they are known as a karma. Okay. Now the whole process of karma, how does it come? That we have divided into the 4 stages. And I'm going to deal with all the 4 stages in a shortest manner, because the 1.5 hours is not the sufficient time to explain everything in detail, but I will just overview it. Out of the 4 stages, influx, bandh, or asha, or bandh, we call it silent. Bandh is bondage. In fact, I should have mentioned here the bondage. It's a bondage. Silent period, which we call it abada kal, and the uday. These are the 4 stages of karma. Okay. Let's take the first stage of karma, which is influx. It is known as an asha. Asha means one which comes in. Agaman. Asha. That is an influx of the karma. There are 42 types of an asha. We call it a dose of karma. In fact, the karma enters into the soul because of this 42 types of a dose. These are the ways in which it comes, which are further divided into Indriya asha, Kashaya asha, Avyat asha, Yoga asha, and Kriya asha. I think when I come further, Yoga asha, many of us would have known that yoga is man, vachan, kaya yoga. But Indriya, Kashaya, and in particularly Avyat asha, many of us would never have thought of it, which Jain principles have thought of the Avyat asha. That is very important. And let me come to that first. Indriya asha. Whenever anything is touched, my spashendriya, my sense of touch is active. And there are 8 types of touch. That is the way by which the karmic particles are attracted. The second is taste, because the touch cannot everything. Remember that. What I told earlier, that Rag and Dvesh is the main cause. These are all the subsidiaries of it. These are all arising out of Rag and Dvesh. So, touch. Then second one is the sense of taste, which is done by the tongue. There are 5 types of taste. That 8 types of touches. 2 types of smell, the good and bad smells. 5 types of vision, the 5 colors. We call it Chakshurindriya, and 3 types of Shravanindriya. These are those through which the karma particles enters into the area of a soul. Similarly, there are 4 Kashaya asha. Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh. Everybody knows about it. Anger, ego, deceit, greed. These are also ashas. That if anybody is indulging into a krodh, now mind that all the ashas which I say, they are intermixed. That it's not necessary that they are exclusive. They are not mutually exclusive. They support each another one. So anger, man, maya, and lobh, these are the 4 another kashaya asha. Then this is the one which I will have to be a little more elaborate about it. This hinsa, there's a violence, false, there's a lie, theft, maithun, and parigraha. Now, why it is called Avyat asha. Avyat means without any vow. Now, is it necessary that I attach the karmic particles only when I tell a lie? Let's take the second one first. That it is not necessary. That only when I tell a lie, that karmic particles necessary for it comes and binds in the soul. But because I have not taken a vow not to lie, that means I am expecting that if a need arises, I will lie. That itself is sufficient for karmic particles to get attached to the soul. It's a very minutest type of a shakiness which happens at the area of a soul. That if I ask you, let's put me this way. If I tell anyone that why don't you take a vow of, if you are non-vegetarian, let's say that. If you are very well non-vegetarian and you are not going to take any non-veg foods in your lifetime for sure. If I ask you, please take a vow that you will never eat the non-vegetarian. But if you fumble there, that means you had an expectation deep in your mind that if a occasion arises, you may eat non-veg foods. So that expectation which rests in your mind, which rests with you, is because of not taking a vow. So these kind of an ashas are not because you are doing something, but you are not taken and vow not to do that. It continuously flows inside the soul because of that. So, that is what I wanted to impress upon more clearly on this Avyata. Because we are not taking any worth. Worth means to vow. Not to indulge into these 5 types of things. The karmic particles, the flow of karmic particles is, the doors are open and it comes inside our soul continuously. Okay. I'm not going to take each one because it will take some time. I think today I will finish more or what. Then man, vachan and kaya. Above here also the tools for the karma bandh and karma. This everybody has accepted that whatever we think, intention, whatever is my intention, that will decide what kind of a karma I have, because the activity may be same by the body, but my intention is different. Then the quality of the karma will also get changed from a good or bad karmas. And similarly for the vachan. Okay, someone has asked a question. Shall I go on taking the question as and when as I progress, or shall we take it at the end? Okay. There are also these man, vachan and kaya are also the tools of the karma or the karmakshaya. Kriya, there are 25 major types of kriyas. I cannot elaborate on this right now. They are very, very in-depth. So let's leave it at that. They are kriya asha, the kriya type of an action that we do. They are causes for the karma to ban. Now let us take the first, influx versus stoppage. What is influx is the asha, and what is stoppage is the sava. Exactly opposite. Whatever the reasons for which the karma gets into the soul, for the exactly opposite reason, we can stop it. The flow of the karma can be stopped. And that is why it is important to know what are the reasons of influx, so that we can adopt the exactly opposite reasons. We can put in place the exactly opposite reasons for its stoppage, which is known as a sava. Now we'll come to the stage 2, which is bonding or bandha. Any questions so far here? Okay, I think I'll take the questions at the end only. That will be better. Okay. There are 4 types of bandha with respect to the intensity of bonding of karma with you. What is the karma? As soon as the karma particles gets into the soul, into the area of the soul, that we call it soul pradesh, atma pradesh, that they start getting mixed with it. Coming in is a one process, and getting mixed is another process. That process is a bonding process. Now there are different categories which we have defined. That what are the different, how can the bonding can be classified? The bonding is like a cement. In a cement, if you pour water, then that cement becomes a bonding for the bricks. So that is the process. As soon as the particles comes in, something is added to that. The rag and dvesh, the oily thickness is added, and then it becomes a bonding starts. How the bonding happens, we'll see in the next slide. There are 4 types of bonds. The first type of bond is a spishta or sparsha. The karma particles just touches one another. They are not just touching. Like, the needles, if you can look at the picture, like the needles, they are just touching one another. So those karma particles, when they are not beyond that, but only touching them, they are called spishta kind of a karma. These are very easy karma for someone to get rid of. Like if some dust falls on my shirts, and immediately if I brush it out, it will go off, because they are on the first category of bandha. They are not bound. So the first category of sparsha are only when the karma particles are joined, not just touching one another. But if nothing is taken care of, then the bonding goes on increasing. Then the second kind of bandha is the dense, which is called Baddha Karma. The karma particles, when are tied tightly, that bonding is called Baddha. It is not easy to dissemble them with only repentance. Only a prashchit only you can do. Where the first one you could have done with a simple repentance. It cannot be done with a simple repentance, but you need a prashchit to do that. So a little more efforts are required to get rid of the karmas which are already in the stage 2 of Baddha Karma. The third type of karma, bandha, bonding, is Nidatta. Nidatta means when the needles, they are not only bound, they are fixed with some glue, like because of the chemical reaction that iron takes place. If I can give you some example of it, suppose if you have an office pin, sometimes we see in our office files, the pin is put on the paper and that file lies for years together. And when we pull out that file, if you look at it, that it will be having a jung on it, and it will be very difficult for that you to pull out that pin. This kind of a karma bonding, a nidatta karma, they become so difficult to now segregate further that you need an extraordinary effort like tapa or tapaschaya dharma to get rid of it. Otherwise, they will not go out. And the last type of a bonding are Nikachita Karma. Nikachita Karma are like when the pins are melted and made like a plate. So it has lost the forms of a pins now. Now it is like a plate. So very difficult to get the pins back. That is Nikachit. Now there is no options left. The jiva, the soul, we have to face it. I have to face it now. That is a Nikachit kind of a karma, and not possible to remove the iron needles from the plate. This is the highest order of kashai. The highest order of kashai. Now these are all because of the kashai also. The kashai is the reason for which the type of the bonding is taking place. Like, I know, I will give you an example from the life of Mahavir Swamiji himself, our 24th Tirthankar, that in the 18th bhava of his Tipushta Vasudev, he was a Vasudev. Am I audible? Because I think my sound is not easy. In the 18th bhava of Tipushta Vasudev, he had ordered his night guards, the night security guards, to stop the music when he is asleep. But that night guard was also so much engrossed with the music that it forgot his order to stop the music when he is asleep. And the music went on. And suddenly, Tipushta Vasudev lost his sleep, he broke up. And when he saw that he has not followed my orders, he ordered for the lead, the very hot lead, and poured it into the ears of the night guard. Now, this act he did. Not only that he did, he never repented for that. And that karma became a Nikachit karma. So, in his final birth, that is the 27th bhava, he had the Goshala, the Gopal. He pierced his ears on the 27th bhava. So, principles of karma don't leave anyone. Even Mahavir Swamijis were not left as an exception. Everybody will have to suffer what he does. Okay. This is a picture how the Skushta, then this Baddha and Nidatta and Nikachit karmas are bonded. I think somebody has raised the hands. We'll take it at the end. After bondage taken place, then what happens during the process of bonding? That is another stage of that bonding. What will happen when the bonding takes place? There are four aspects of karma that will be decided at this stage when the bonding takes place. When the bonding takes place, the karma's prakriti, the karma's sthiti, that's a time limit, the intensity of the karma, and the quantity of the karma particles. That all will be decided during the process of bonding. We'll take up this one by one, very far, very quickly. Prakriti Ban. Prakriti means swabhav. That's the nature of the karma particles. It is nothing but it covers the soul, and it in such a way that the guna, the soul which has its characteristics, doesn't come out very blurrily. To explain you, if there is a lamp, it's a lamp, and if I put some cloth over it, some piece of cloth, the light emitted from the lamp gets diffused to some extent. And not only that it gets diffused, it also changes its color. The lamp is a white, say it emits the white or yellow color rays. But if I put another red color cloth coverings on it, the color which will come out will be reddish color. So function of the prakriti is to vitiate the guna, the virtues of the atma, the soul, and to project it differently out. And the karma's function is to cover it up. The function of prakriti is to vitiate it. Okay. It will affect the jnana and darshan guna of the soul, because those necessary karmas have been now over it. So it's a prakriti ban. Can prakriti ban be changed later date and later time? It depends on what type of a ban it has reached. We have seen the earlier that what kind of a prakriti it was there. There are many 8 types of prakritis with 158 subtypes. There is a sub-utta prakriti. Now, here, this is a table which I have made. On this side, these are the quality of soul, like Ananta Gnan, Ananta Darshan, Ananta Sukh, Ananta Chaitya. These are the qualities of the soul. I have tried to translate into English: infinite knowledge or perception, unhindered happiness, and like that. And these are the prakriti of the karma, which in fact makes the soul not to enjoy this quality, not to get into this quality, but gets an opposite effect. And these are the types of sub-prakriti. That is a Utta Prakriti, which these types of karma has. There are in totality 158, but these are only a broader classification. When somebody, if we go well further into it, there are innumerable sub-prakritis which can happen. But to understand the karma theory very well, this has been divided into 158 types of prakriti. We will take one by one very quickly. Knowledge covering karma. It's a gnana varniya. See, here the word is gnan plus avaran. Avaran means to cover. The one type of karma that covers the gnana guna of a soul are known as a gnana varniya karma. We have compared it. It can be compared with the person who is not a blind but covering his eyes. Like a soul knows everything. Soul has a full ananta gnana. But because of this karma, the soul is not able to see. Now today, I am sitting here, I am not able to see what is behind this wall. This is because of the Gnanavaniya karma. Because though the soul has an infinite knowledge within it, it is not put into practice because of this type of a karma, which are called Gnanavaniya karma. It obstructs the knowledge of the soul. The reason for Gnanavaniya karma is normally to disregard the knowledge of the knowledgeable person or instruments for knowledge or other reasons. These are the reasons because of which Gnanavaniya karma comes up. The person, everyone, we have no clarity, forgets often because of this Gnanavaniya karma. The next is Darshanavaniya karma. It is compared with a chokidar. What is it? There are people who want to see the king There is a watchman standing. There is a chokidar in front of the gate. He doesn't allow to enter and have a darshan of the king. So that is the one karma, those karmas which don't allow us to see, which we have entitled, which we have ananta darshan good with us, but we are not allowed to see. They are called Dashnavaniya karma. The person, we are all suffering from the Dashnavaniya karma. When there is some defects in the eyes or ears, it is because of the Dashnavaniya karma. Now another very important karma, Vedniya karma. It is compared with a person who is sucking a honey coated on a sword. He feels it sweet, but when honey is not there, he continues to suck the sword, and due to his temptation for taste, cuts his tongue and starts bleeding. So first he was having a happiness or sukha, and then suddenly when the honey is exhausted, it turns out to be a dukha. This karma of two types, that is a shata and ashata. Then we have Moniya Karma. This is said to be a king of all the karmas. The effect of this karma is like a drunken man. His behavior is without any senses. He starts grumbling whatever he thinks. He loses control over his action and speech. Mohaniya karma don't allow one to behave properly. He behaves like a drunken man. He is not within his senses. And it impediments the Ananta Chaitya, that is quality of a soul, and it is devoid of correct realities, and he engages into the false actions. This is the function of a Moniya karma. Antaya karma. Another very interesting karma. Karma has an Ananta Shakti, but who is inhibiting this power of the soul? It's the Antaya karma. It's compared with a treasurer. It's like, who has been ordered to give some money to a person, but he doesn't pay. He creates some other excuses that no, the order is not proper, this is not proper, and he doesn't pay out that and that. Like if the other karma has already said the love, okay, you will have so much of benefit now, so much of benefit. But because of the Antaya karma, that is not realized. We can also call it like a refund of income tax doesn't come in time for several reasons, that the CPC says that your name is not matching with the PAN card, or the bank is not validated, your name as per the bank is different. Those intimation has been processed and the refund has been determined to be payable, but it doesn't come up. It is because of such Antaya karma. Soul, Atma cannot attain his quality of infinite power because of the Antaya karma. Obstructing others is the reason for this karma. When we indulge into Antaya, that is obstructing somebody else's, then this type of a karma is going to happen. It's going to get stick to us. Ayushya karma. Now this karma decides, it's like a prisoner who is put in a jail for particular terms. That terms decides the Ayushya. This karma decides how long he is going to live in the jail. The jail means that body. How long he is going to live in the body, that is decided by the Ayushya karma. And which kind of a birth that one is going to take place in the next life is also decided by the Ayushya karma. And soul does not leave the body without Ayushya karma, new Ayushya karma being bonded. Nam karma is like a painter. In fact, the quality of the soul is that it is arupi. It doesn't have any roop, it doesn't have any name. But because of this karma, the vyavahar, we interact each other with because of the nam karma, it gets the body. We get the body because of the nam karma. It's like a painter who paints different paintings. It is compared with that. there are 103 categories of the Nam Karma. So a very big list of it. And for each function, there is a different kind of a karma which are defined. Kotya Karma. This is a karma which is like compared like a pot maker. Now the pot maker, we call it Kumbha, he makes a pots of different sizes and for different uses. The pots are also used as a kalash for sacred reasons, for good reasons, and the pots are also used to store the wines. Pots are also used to store some gold coins. So the type of the pots which are created gets a differential treatment. Whenever there are some differential treatment, they are because of the Gotya Karma. The important thing here for us to know from this is that if we treat others in a downward way, okay, he is not a, then such karma of Gotya Karma, Nij Gotya Karma, gets attached to us, and then we will have to again face the same thing. So we should always give respect to everyone equally. There's an equality concept that we can get, lessons from the Gotya Karma. Now we'll come to the, after Prakriti Bandh, there is another Bandh which is called a Sthiti Bandha. We are right now seeing the 4 types of bondings. First we have seen the Prakriti Bandha. Now we are seeing the Sthiti Bandha, which is a time limit. This decides the time duration, how long the karma is going to remain attached with the soul. Every 8 major types of karma described above have different duration as maximum, minimum. They have prescribed things in it. How it will vary, I'm not going to take such certain things in detail here, as not the right place now. It can be increased or decreased. Yes, time limit can be increased, but for Ayushya Karma, it can be only decreased and not increased. But through Udina Karan, it can be decreased. This is a thing. What is Udina Karan? Our body is meant for a certain period of life. Our Ayushya Karma is for, let's say, 85, 90 years. But because of our own mistakes, we eat not the correct foods. We decrease our Ayushya. So this is the time limit for Ayushya Karma can be decreased because of our own faults. Then the third type of a bonding is intensity. It decides when the karma gets bonded, it decides what is the intensity of that karma. Like there is a given that there are 4 types of manda, tivya, tivyata, and tivyatam. If there is a rasa of dimda that is taken, then, and this is the 4 part of it, half of it will be tivya, of the same concentrate. It's a concentration. How concentrate will be the rasa? The 1/2 will be tivyata, and 1/2 of 1/2 will be tivyata. This intensity is decided at the time of bonding of the karma. More intensity, severe effect, and the lesser intensity, the mild effect. So we have to be also very careful what kind of rasa bandha that will happen for all our karmas that we have. This rasa bandha is normally connected with the kashai. Kashai are our mental stature. If our mental stature is too severe, is too strong, they are called Anantu Bandhi, because I am not going to define you all these things. Pratyakhaniya, Pratyakhaniya, Sanjolan Kashai, Swanjolana, very mild Kashai. These Kashais are reasons for what kind of a Rasabandha that will take place. Then the 4th bonding that takes place is a quantity. There's a Pradesh Bandha. Higher the use of Man, Vachan, Kaya, more the quantity of karma. And lower the use of Man, Vachan, and Kaya, the less the quantity of karma. Karma inflows in it, but how many particles of the karma? 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 1 crore, 10 crores, how much? That is decided by the Pradesh Bandha and the use of Man, Vachan, and Kaya Yoga. Like if we compare it as a bundi ladu, there will be maybe around 500 to 1000 bundis in that one ladu. But if it is a methi ladu, it may go up to say 3000 to 4000 methis, is a particle of methi. But if it is a tilka ladu, then it may run into 25 to 30,000 tils to make one ladu. And in Soot ladu, they will be in millions. So this quantity of Pradeshmand of the articles are decided at the time of bonding. After the bonding, the third stage is a silent stage. That's a Baddha Karma. Now this is a golden period. Once the karmas are in flux, they are bonded. Now what happens? They don't give the result then and there. They go into a silent mode for some time, a bigger time rather. That is called the Baddha Karma. Now this is a time duration during which we are open to manipulate or manage our karma during the Baddha Karma. And that is why this is said to be a golden period for us. It is time limit is decided after doing process stage 2. Time limit is decided. It's going to stay because of the time limit. It is going to stay for say n number of years, the thousands years, 2000 years. But it will start giving effect after 2000 years. So a time period in between is Baddha Karma. Karma stays with the soul as a karman shayi during the bonding and the maturity. As and when the karmas get bonded, it becomes a karman shayi, which always remains with the soul. It is never left. And till its maturity, that karman shayi consists of all the karma particles which are bonded. It is also called the karma in satta, that is in existence with the soul. And it is called Baddha Karma because it doesn't hinder at that point of a time with the soul. It is just silently lying in the karman shayi. So what happens in the Baddha Karma? In Baddha Karma, because of the karmas are not active, not operative, we can do manage certain things with the karmas. The first thing in which we can manage is apavartana, that we can reduce its time limit, we can reduce its intensity, quantity and nature. One can also increase the time limit or intensity or quantity of the nature. The third process one can do is get it merged. The nature of the karma can get merged into the different kind of a karma. And the fourth is udina, which is premature results. We can also take it. We'll take up this very fast now. Apavartana. Now it can act, apavartana can act on two sides. There's always the two sides of the swords. So apavartana can be used for the punya karma, that's a good meritorious karma, or the pap karma. When post-merit punya karma gets bounded, if we condemn the effect of the punya karma, then that is reduced. For example, to give an example, if I did some good things, say I made a very good donation, but later on, after making the donation, I repent. I should not have given that donation. If I repent after giving it, it is apavartana. The good effect which it was supposed to have given, it gets reduced. That is apavartana of the punya karma. Similarly, so that is not expected, that is not good. But apavartana of papa karma is expected. That is a good thing. If I did something wrong and then I repent after doing it, that I should not have done, I should not have lied, I should not have hurt him. So that's an apavartana of the karma. Knowing all these functions also trains our life, how we have to build our life. If I did something wrong, then I must come out as soon as possible, as fast as possible, and repent for it, so that the effect of those karma which are already bonded, I can reduce it. This is what the benefit of apavartana one can take. At the same time, if it is not used properly, one will definitely make a very big loss out of it. Then an opposite of apavartana is udavartana, that is to increase the something. When post-merit karma, punya karma, the act is cherished. If I did something good, I'll be happy even after doing it. What an opportunity I got to do some good thing. Then it is udavartana. That is My Punya Karma, the intensity in everything is increased many folds. That is Udavatana. And for the same thing, for the Pap Karma, if I, after doing a Pap Karma, if I enjoy it, look, I did something really good. That is what the Maman Shet did. And Shali, but I'm not citing you the examples. It will take a little more time. And I want to give more time to the question and answers. I know for sure many questions have already come in. So I will leave good time for the question and answer sessions. There is third process which is called Sanka Mana. There is a one, to explain the Sanka Mana, there is a one glass full of water and few spoons of milk is mixed in it. What it will happen? The milk will get mixed into the water and the milk, it will not be there. It will get a color of a water. It is just, milk is there, just a teaspoon of it in a whole glass of water. The milk loses its identity. But if a glass of milk is there, and if we add 1 spoon of water in it, the water gets the name of a milk. In the first case, the milk gets the name of a water. But in the second case, the water gets the name of a milk. So water is like an Ashubha Karma. After we did, if we are continuously engaging ourselves in the Ashubha Karma, then even the small part of the Shubha Karma that we make, that gets mixed into the Ashubha Karma. It's like adding a milk into a glass of water. And in the reverse case, when we are totally engaged into the Shubha activities, the pious activities, then we may do something wrong somewhere, somehow, but that will get into the milk. That's called a merger, a sankraman. But that doesn't mean that we have to do wrong, because ultimately it will impact the final outcome of the good karmas to a bit small extent, but it will affect it. Another process is udena, which is like prematurely we enjoy the karma or we face the karma. It's like a FD amount which is prematurely we withdraw from the bank. Here I have given 2 examples. If I take an ice cream and catch a cold, in fact, it was my Shata Vednya, which was supposed to be giving me good health. But because of I making a mistake of eating an ice cream, I catch a cold. This is udena. That my Ashata Vednya comes into front and gives me sufferings. Similarly for the unhealthy foods. But here the udena can also be used for tapa. When we do tapa, what happens is that we invite the troubles. By udena, we invite the troubles to come, and those karmas which were supposed to give us the bad effects, we accept that and we get rid of such bad karmas also. So udena can be used purposely in a very positive way, as well as it can be act as a negative way. The 4th stage of karma is uday. Uday is something which has got matured now. We have talked the 4 stages. This is the 4th stage we are now. The one is ashya, first of all we say. Then bandha, that the bonding. The 3rd one was abadha kal. In doing the abadha kal, we have seen how we can manage that abadha kal. The 4th stage is uday. That is now the karma is ready to give effect. That is uday kal or karmoday. When time limit matures, karma starts giving its effects and intensity and natures which are decided earlier, or as may have been amended earlier because of the reason discussed earlier. We feel the effect of the karma. This is called uday, and after the karmas are consumed, that after it gives the effect, it goes away from the soul, it goes away from the karma shari, and that is but the new karmas are already coming in, so it's a continuous process. Old karmas are coming into uday stage, that's a maturity stage, give effect, goes out. New karmas are always continuously bonded, and that is how the cycle of the karma is continuously moving. And so I think I have finished earlier. We have to, what are the takeaways from this very speedy talk that I entered into? That we have to know our enemy. Why karma is an enemy is that because of the karma we are taking up cycle of birth and death. And we are having all the sufferings. How many people are suffering in the world? Majority of us. Majority. What is the reason? Karma. Then can we say karma to be a friend? Certainly not. Karma is not a friend for us. And that is why when I chanted my Naukaya mantra, what was my first sentence? I say, the first line was Namo Arihantanam. What does it mean? Ari means enemy. Hanta means who has destroyed that enemy. Here, Arihant Prabhu has destroyed the enemy of karma, and that is why he is put as a first Namo Arihantanam. So, karma is not our friend. He is definitely an enemy, but we have to live with him because we have no other choice. We have to be very wise how we can manage the karma and get rid of that also. So to destroy the karma, we have to know what powers they have, how do they work, and that is why the whole process of knowing the karma bandha, karma uday, Sanka Mana, everything is to manage the karma, because we know for sure we are not going to get rid of the karma very soon. So know your enemy first well, so that you can manage it. Take the silent period. The second takeaway is that necessary to solve the puzzle. Why it happens with me only is only because of the karma. So when we know the karma, we accept whatever situation that arises, that it is because of my karma, bad situations, or someone acting bad with me, something going wrong with me. It is because of my own karma, which in the past which I have done. So knowing karma theory helps someone to live at peace because of this understanding. Third, we can take the best use of the silent period, that is Abadakal. That is the takeaway which I will suggest everyone that one can have. And why this understanding of karma can happen only in the human life. All lives are suffered by the karma, but it is only during the human life that we can understand and we can implement something and get some relief out of it and start a journey towards the moksha. Managing the karma can happen only with the knowledge. Thank you very much. And I will now invite any questions that anybody has. एक minute. Okay. We'll take up the questions. I think I was